Did you hear the intro of last week's episode or the theme
No.
song?
Mm-mm.
You didn't? I tell you, should I play it for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do a little inception here. I always see hairs when we're doing this.
I got a couple over here.
All right, ready?
Yep.
I had you in mind when I made this.
Damn. I like that.
That was a good cliffhanger too, you know.
Yeah.
And it worked because Danielle's like, "Yeah, I had no idea where the episode was gonna go after I heard that."
Yeah. That's a good intro though. I like that.
Trying to
Not as good as the Taliban one though.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll be chasing that high. They're fighting Nazis in fucking Imperial Japan, and they're yodeling in the valley the whole time they're on tour, eating vagina from this country to that country. They were eating pussy from the fucking shores of Tripoli all the way to Berlin, and nobody gave a shit.
Welcome to episode 68 of the current Backloggers. The date is June.
Dear Doctor! That was disgusting. I hated that.
Date is June 2nd. I'm your host, Casey P, along with my good friend and co-host, Cody G. Cody, how's it going today?
It's like one of those caster guys or whatever. They do like play-by-plays of like League of Legends and stuff.
I don't feel like I've heard enough of that, but
Really?
I think it's a good
Oh,
thing.
you need to. There's some really good cringy moments in those.
I think it's too much for me, though.
Yeah, especially because they use their gamer tags, like their League of Legends.
That'd be like using your first name and then the first initial of your last name. That'd be kind of fucking, it's just cringy.
Oh, yeah. Or what do you call Derek?
D-dubs.
D-dubs.
I think it's pretty sweet.
But yeah, so you could imagine there's some of these ridiculous. I can't think of some crazy gamer tags, but always too, because they're always a little corny. Like it's not like you see, oh, that's a funny gamer tag or that's clever. It's just like
Kill Shot Warrior.
oh my God, here we go. Golden Valiant going up the corner. Oh, he's jungling right now. Oh, golden fountain. Here he comes. Golden shower. That'd be good. That'd be clever, though. But they wouldn't allow that. But yeah, your intro sounded like one of those guys.
Thank you.
Sponsored by, what's the drink all these fucking streamers drink? The powdered stuff. Gamer Fuel? No, that's delicious.
G-Fuel?
G-Fuel. Definitely didn't copy Mountain Dew with that one at all. I have a strong feeling you guys wish you could have used Gamer Fuel. Especially because they collect all the flavors. They always pile up the trash. Like, who the fuck collects trash and puts it on a shelf? I've never done that. I don't do that at all. But they always collect their different flavors. Like, oh, this is my favorite flavor. Weirdest names to them, too. You want to look up the G Fuel flavors?
I think there's too many for that.
Yeah, they have some weird names. Let's get some examples in here for the people that aren't aware of G Fuel. And G Fuel is just a powder you mix with water, right? Is that how that works?
They definitely have their own drinks as well.
Really?
But I don't know the difference.
Isn't there gummies too?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, oh my God. Product. Let's go check out the G Fuel product line here. Aren't some of the flavors timed too? Like
yeah.
Like, oh, I'm only for a week could you get the pineapple blast? You know, I got it. Bahama Mama. That seems to be a top one there. Oh, they have cans for it too. This is Battle Juice. Black Cherry. Black on Blackberry. Sounds awfully similar to a phrase you hear. This is right now we're having a lot of black on Blackberry crime. Oh, this one's sold out. Oh, this is Blue Ice. It's like the same names you'd expect with like a cigarette company. With all the different ridiculous names for the juices.
You know, it's funny. You'd probably like it, I bet, too. Is the best part. I bet you'd enjoy them and think they're good.
Probably. I just can't stand these streamers.
Yeah,
like, well, what's your favorite one? They come back with like their bundle of barrels and throw them. Like, oh, I feel so amped up when I'm drinking Bahama Mama. Schmitz should sue them.
Why is that?
It's their big sausage, buddy. Bahama Mama, yeah. That's their number one. Fuckers.
I mean, they can try.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy thing is they've been around way longer than G Fuel, and they'd probably lose that case in a second, though, just because how small they are compared to G Fuel.
I feel like that's always such a common term, Bahama Mama.
Yeah. What have you been up to, buddy?
Just investing in memes. It's kind of taken off. You said you invested, too.
Yeah, a little bit.
You surprised me. You didn't tell me. Just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just flying under the radar, you know?
You hiding from the IRS right now? I feel like Casey, I have a strong feeling Casey's not paying his taxes, and that's why he's like, I'm just dabbling, you know.
Yeah, just touching here and there. We'll see what happens.
Touching here and there. You and the Catholic priestess, the Catholic Toyota Priuses. Besides investing in memes, I've been messing around with the power washer. Those are a lot of fun. I feel like the power washer I do have, Ryan would shit all over. He's big into power washers. So you probably wouldn't like my power washer. It's not that powerful. We're borrowing it from Renee's parents. It's my girlfriend's parents. It's fun though. Put some music on, and just it's like you're drawing. I don't know.
It's like you're playing Splatoon.
Yeah,
IRL, as the kids say.
IRL, Splatoon. Sometimes you got to be careful though. There was a kid in my high school that in woodshop he was fucking around with the power washer, and for some reason he thought he could wash his hands with it. He cut up his hands with it. I was like, what an idiot. But there's been a couple times where you zone out and you think, oh, this is a hose. I'm like, fucking got mud all over my hands. And then I go down. I'm like, oh, whoa. Like 12 years ago, I gave that kid so much shit for doing that. And then I almost did it.
There was one time, one of my friends, other people probably have done this. I get how it happens. Just like you said, funny scenario like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was boiling hot dogs. And he said he didn't want it to burn, so he panicked and grabbed the hot dog out of the boiling water.
It's also, hot dog can't burn in boiling water. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Did he fuck up his hand?
He just said it burnt really bad, but I never saw anything that looked too bad on him. So maybe the story is fake to begin with.
Yeah, because you definitely can't fucking burn a hot dog in water. Because those guys that sell hot dogs on the street, they're just constantly in water.
Yeah.
Might overcook it, might get a little mushy, but you're definitely not gonna burn anything in water.
Wet and gushy.
Yeah, wet and gushy, mushy, moist, mushy, gushy. Females should not describe their vaginas as gushy or mushy. I don't like that.
I don't think, not just females. I don't think people should in general. That's an awful way to say that.
Besides that, what else? Oh, I got to celebrate AMC blowing up. Like I told you just 3 weeks ago, I felt like a fucking idiot for buying a bunch of AMC, and now look at me. Look at me.
You're a millionaire.
I wish. No, I don't. So I went out and got AMC stubs. It's something that's been on my mind for a while, and I feel like there's enough movies out right now I want to see that would make sense. And I live so close to Easton, just a few blocks away. Take the back roads, and they got rid of the mask mandate. And
sorry,
what?
I was just listening.
Oh yeah, they just got rid of the mask thing. So I said, let's go down there. What are you singing? You're singing something. What are you singing?
No, I was trying to imitate what you were doing.
No, it sounds like a song.
I don't think so.
It's like a weird country song or something. It sounds like some generic. Take a country roads, blue jeans.
You continue though. I won't interrupt.
And I went and watched Quiet Place 2, which was nice. It was the AMC IMAX, which I don't know. IMAX used to mean something. I don't think it means anything anymore. The theater too, I'm guessing to not fuck with the seating in the IMAX theater. It hasn't been updated. It hasn't been updated from their last update.
Yeah.
So I think it's because IMAX is like requires probably certain things. So don't fuck with them. Those seats are disgusting because we got there early enough that the lights were still on. Those are disgusting seats. They're faded and real run down in there.
Yeah, if you're going for the good sound, I would do Dolby Theater there, or the Prime Theaters. Those are better for the audio. I think the screen in IMAX, I think it's the best screen. But as far as the audio, I think the other two are better.
I would agree with you, but there was dead pixels in the IMAX screen.
Was there?
Yeah, there's dead pixels, and then they could tell where they repaired the screen or something because there's like a cross in the middle of the screen. So I think AMC has a deal with IMAX because they're using IMAX's name. But this movie wasn't shot in IMAX.
Yeah, I was going to say that's another thing that is definitely...
Does that even mean anything anymore? Because I realized that meant something when there was still film. And it was, oh, this is IMAX film.
I'm not going to act like I know all about it, but I know it, at least from what I hear, it does matter if they film it in IMAX and it's formatted for the screen and audio. That's why if a movie's not shot like that, there's no real difference in seeing that. You just get a bigger screen, but nothing's actually enhanced.
Yeah, the screen was nice. It was weird sitting in normal seats again. It's been a while since I sat in those style seats. It's kind of a throwback, and then the first few minutes was like, oh, this is like nostalgic, and then quickly was like, man, I fucking miss those old seats. The 9 o'clock was sold out.
Really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
So on a Wednesday. But yeah, that's all I've been up to. What have you been up to?
Yeah, we'll talk more about Quiet Place because I've seen it as well. So we'll talk about that when we talk about what we've been watching. I talked last week about how I was going to go to New York City, and unfortunately that fell through because I mentioned it last week how it's supposed to pour every day. But the more I looked at the forecast, it was just literally pouring the entire time. Every day we were going to be there, which I still would have had fun if I went there. I would have made the most of it. But for one, there's a few things that you just can't control, like going into buildings and everything. They tell you when it's rainy or overcast that there's no point in going up there. So that we're just essentially wasting money if we go there for certain things. Even if you try and make the most of it, there's some things you just can't change. And so we delayed it until August, so we're still going to do it. But instead, we kind of just did stuff around here. We went to Cincinnati for the day, and we were going to go try a place called Flying Pizza that I guess used to be in Columbus, and it's a pizza by the slice place, New York style. I feel like that's one thing we definitely don't have enough of is pizza by the slice, which I get why we don't for the most part because the setup for most of those places wouldn't survive, probably like this place didn't. But I think downtown, those kind of places should have at least some more than what we do and more than fucking Mikey's Late Night Slice, which is horrendous.
Hate that place.
And Flying Pizza looked fucking amazing, but unfortunately it was closed. We figured out there's a few still left in Ohio. One of them was Dayton, which is on the way to Cincinnati. But I didn't know it was a thing for restaurants to close on Memorial Day. I didn't realize that was a common thing. So we plan to go there and then CC's after Kings Island, or after our adventures that I'll get to, which I spoiled one of them. But Flying Pizza was closed, and then CC's was going to close at 9, so we'd be rushing it. So we changed it up. The reason we went to Cincinnati was the Reds game, which they won 11-1. It was a fantastic game. And then on the way there, we stopped at Casey's since Flying Pizza they weren't open. We got a slice of Casey's pizza. And then we went to Wahlburgers before the Reds game. They were open, so we went there. Got some good old Wahlburgers. And then after the Reds game, we went to Kings Island just for a couple rides. We have season passes, so it might seem silly to most people to only go there for a couple rides, but it's on the way home, and there's no charge in us going. So we did that and then capped it off with some La Rosas. And besides that, did stuff around here. Like I said, we met up with my niece and got to hang out with her. I haven't seen her in a while, so it was a lot of fun. We just went out and went to a couple parks and did a lot of nonsense. And then working some, did Uber Eats a couple more times. Don't think there's anything exciting to talk about there.
Pretty normal.
Yeah, I think so. If there is, I'll talk about it next week. Say, might miss something, but I don't think so. I did have a conversation on the way down to Cincinnati, though. And it was about something we talked about last week about Demi Lovato. I had a conundrum. How do we talk about them now? Like, in the sense, like, if this person is hot, I'm like, man, they is hot, or them is hot.
Them is hot. How you refer to her is Pierce Morgan. He had a great summary of it. She's like, I now identify her initial post. I fucking hate Pierce Morgan for a lot of things, but then other times, like, this guy I love him. I would kiss him for some of the shit he did. He doesn't fucking care. It's kind of like how I feel about Bill Maher too. Kind of go all over the place with him, which is how it should be, you know. But Pierce Morgan was like, oh, that's great. I also identify now as an attention-seeking celebrity. Just taking jabs at her. So I think it's what you should be like, oh, wow, that attention-seeking celebrity is really attractive.
Okay.
Wow, that attention slut, fucking dumb bitch. Wow, she is so hot. That is so hot what them is doing. Wow. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck off Twitter. Attacking this fucking little family operation. Like they ain't got enough shit going on with COVID. And you're over there going, all this sugar-free. Shut the fuck up. She's like a little teenager running around getting attention. Like, oh, I cut my hair because I don't care.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm in rehab.
Right there.
And what was she in rehab for? We don't even know what drug she was using, right? Was it heroin?
I think so.
Was it heroin?
Cocaine, I think.
Cocaine? Oh, my God. So, yeah, I think I'm on with Pierce Morgan. Wow, that attention-seeking dumb bitch. She is so hot. I don't think you have to worry about saying that with Demi Lovato.
I also was thinking something you talked about, how that affects lyrics. Like all these woman empowerment songs she's written throughout her career. Does she still sing those? And you still say her? Do you edit those lyrics? And going forward, are you like, I don't know, like your woman power song is like a them power song?
I think what you do is you fucking don't listen to those songs, first of all, and you won't have to worry about it. You shouldn't be listening to that fucking music, because I'm sure it's awful.
She has a couple of really catchy songs, but no, for the most part, I fucking hate it.
Okay, so there you go. I don't know, man. She's just like all these companies, too. We'll get into that. Bethesda changing their logo to a pride flag. Do whatever the fuck you want. Clearly it's for money. You're a company. Everything you do is for money. Every little grammatical thing, every little thing you do is for money, which is fine. But it's so blatantly obvious when you guys change your logo to a rainbow. But then in Russia, where you know it'd fuck with your money, or the Middle East, you guys keep your logo. So obvious you don't give a fuck about the gay rights or gay movement. You see what they're doing to gay people in the Middle East or Russia?
Oh, yeah.
Like, Russia, it's terrible. They have a Russian James Charles. This motherfucker shows up to do, like, a makeup tutorial at one of their makeup shops. These Russians just show up and start fucking throwing things at him, punching him. So if anybody needs your gay fucking pride support, it's probably those countries. But guess what? You're worried about your money, so you don't do it. You do it where it's safe, in the Western world, where we're fucking civil when it comes to gay people. And we don't give a shit. But don't get me started on it. Because you're also attention-seeking fuckers. You know what? While we're on it, fuck China. You know? Don't get me started on that. Threatening nuclear war. Oh, my God. I like how Biden gets into office, throws Trump's investigation out there. Like, oh, that's racist. And then everyone's like, wait, hold up, dude. I think China did this. And Biden's like, huh? Huh? Yeah, we think China. We think they did this. Oh, shit myself. And he's like, oh, okay, let's fucking start investigating it. And the China goes, if you guys, they're starting to investigate us, so we're gonna start a nuclear war. Which it's pretty obvious that they did it at this point, right? When they're like, hey, can we investigate this? And China's like, oh, they're over there loading the nuclear weapons. Yeah, I guess we gotta do this now. Fucking Jimmy Carter 2.0. I thought it was funny he posed pictures of Jimmy Carter. I think Jimmy Carter has it together more than he fucking does. I think I'd rather have him in office. Man looks like a fucking raisin in that. God, he looked terrible, man. That poor guy's been dead for 20 years. They just keep him propped up. Jimmy Carter seems like a nice guy. He seems like a great guy. But Jesus, was he a bad president? Terrible president. So yeah, Jimmy Carter 2.0, fuck China. I'm trying to get it all out right now. Well, there's a meat shortage coming because another hacker group got them. Did you see that?
No.
The beef industry. They, I forget that the acronym. It starts with a J. It's big beef, the biggest beef company in the United States.
Johnson & Johnson.
Yes. Yeah. They make baby lotion and they cut up cows. So
that's how they make the vaccines.
So probably more Russian hacker groups. Who knows? Will we investigate that? No. We're more concerned about the CIA videos of. Have you seen the new one with the fucking librarian?
No.
He's like, I was always wanted to be a librarian. And it was so empowering when I saw the CIA guy. He had a rainbow on his lanyard. Shut the fuck up. You know what we're supposed to be doing right now, CIA? Our infrastructure is under attack. China's they're loading their nuclear weapons, and you're over there like, when I saw that rainbow on his lanyard, shut the fuck. I don't give a fuck if you suck 20 cocks in a day if you're in the CIA. I don't give a fuck who you fuck or marry. Your job is to go fuck with them, and they're fucking with us real hard. And you're over there just, this is what they said. I get a lot of board games together. We have like board game night. Kill me. Fucking shoot me. I'm so done with that shit. We prep. We just get these board games together, these mind games, and we really get him thinking. Why don't you get him thinking about, I don't know, fucking nuclear war with China? Whatever these terrorist hacker groups, wherever they are. But no, it's okay. We rainbow lanyards and board games. That's what the CIA should be worrying about. Glad my money's going towards something. UFOs, Defense Department. They're that's coming up. So, but good thing this is what we're worried about. And the Army. Did you see the Army commercial?
No.
Something about my two moms or something. Shut the fuck up, dude. We don't give a fuck what. You can listen to me. World War II, how many women fought in that war? From what I hear, there was like a known thing. They were all lesbians. And you didn't hear them. They're fighting Nazis in fucking Imperial Japan, and they're yodeling in the valley the whole time they're on tour, eating vagina from this country to that country, and nobody gave a shit. The one general was like, we should probably get rid of the gays. We need to start getting some of these gay women out of here. And the guy's like, you could do that, but it's all of them. We'd have to fire all of them. He's like, okay, never mind. They were eating pussy from the fucking shores of Tripoli all the way to Berlin, and nobody gave a shit. I don't give a fuck. They're all heroes. I don't give a fuck what you eat and suck and fuck as long as... why are we worried about this? They're just like, they inject it in every time. And fucking Russia and China are just laughing at us. Just giggling. Did you see the new CIA? Meanwhile, the KGB is like training to cut people's heads off and literally executing people in airports. And our guys are like, well, we've been working on board games. We're having board game night tonight. Shut the fuck. Nobody gives a fuck who you're fucking. But yeah, so Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Just started yesterday.
Same to you.
Yeah, just started yesterday. I couldn't give a shit. Yeah, so that's how I'm feeling about that. Figured to get all that out at the beginning.
Do you think you actually got it all out?
I'd probably come back a little bit here
That's
and there.
what I was thinking. I was going to say, be honest with yourself.
Yeah, it's just disgusting what's happening right now. And fucking shit himself, Biden is in office. And all this crazy stuff's going on. Inflation's right around the corner. The gas shortage already fucked with the beef industry. Now the beef industry is getting targeted by these hacker groups.
That might be a good thing, though. I mean, who really wants beef?
I was thinking in the car, I was like, Casey's going to say, because you don't eat beef. I was like, Casey's going to be like, who the fuck cares?
I know it's a big deal.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
For me.
Yeah, it's weird. Nobody.
That actually could fuck me over because if there's less beef, everybody's going to go to something else, and then
cheese pizza, buddy.
Yep, all my stuff's
coming for it.
gone.
Yep. Gummies and cheese pizza. And chicken tenders. But yeah. That's how I'm feeling.
Okay. Nothing else? You sure?
Yeah, it's just culturally rotten. Rotting at the core.
No, because I don't disagree with you. I'll make one thing clear. I'm gonna say clear, which would have been funny. That's what I'm about to get at. And I know you're the same, so I'm not saying it because of what you said. I just know I say a lot of stuff on here that I feel like if somebody heard it and don't know me, they would think that we're some crazy people that hate gay people or whatever and hate everything. I know, like I said, I'm not trying to counteract you because I know how you actually feel. I'm saying from other people's perspective that, yeah, I even making fun of the pronouns and everything, I could care less if somebody wants to call themselves something. I do think that's silly, I'll be honest, but I don't care if somebody else does that. And that's the case with everything. If somebody else wants to do it and it's not harming anybody else, then I could literally care less. I think people can't separate when you're mocking that. You're not mocking them for being gay or having different pronouns or any of that. You're mocking what they're doing and making it a point to point it out and have ulterior motives that are not that. So, like I said, I know, at least from what I think I know of you, you feel the same way anyways. I just thought I'd make that clear because even myself, I know I mock all that stuff. And like I said, I will be honest, I think the pronoun thing is a little silly, but still, it doesn't actually affect me if somebody doesn't go out of their way. And that's why I mock her doing it, or them doing it, because... Yeah, because it's not that they're doing that, it's that they need to make it a point and make other people react to that. And, there's a ulterior motive, and it's not that if they need that to be happy, then you don't need to tell everybody else and make it a point. You could do that and be happy doing that. You wouldn't need to tell everybody else and make other people around you change. Which is probably the most frustrating thing about all that is that they do that to be themselves, and then if you have any commentary on that, then you automatically are you're not letting them be themselves, even though by saying somebody else can't have commentary, then they can't be themselves with it, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. And then they're like, freedom of speech doesn't exist when it pertains to this because it's literally violence. These people kill themselves over this. They die. Every time you say that, 3 of them dies. That's how they act. So they say, like, oh, you can't... Actually, freedom of speech doesn't pertain to this because it's actually violence. It's just a way for people to feel better about themselves. The people, they're like virtue signaling. Even the people that aren't that way, they get so excited. Like when somebody is like, hey, just I'm a dude now, so you refer to me as him. And then they're like, you get those people that are so excited. They're just, anytime that they can say a gender in a sentence referring to that person, they're like, oh, yeah, he's over there. He. This is hims. This is theys. And they like it's like the first thing they want to tell you, or they're introducing them like this non-binary. And that's the shit that pisses me off. Like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Or if you're my friend and you're like, hey, dude, can you refer to me as this? And it's like a mutual thing and there's respect for both of us. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck who you're fucking.
Yeah, that's why I say I know from everything I know about you, I feel like we're the same on that. I just feel like since the narrative is so fucking backwards with this, when anybody hears anybody talk like that, then they just assume you're probably making fun of it. Like, not you personally, like the royal you, me, whoever's doing it. And that's not what's happening at all. So,
and with the corporations too, they don't give a fuck. If they thought for a second it wouldn't make them money, like Russia, Middle East, where there should actually be people fighting for this stuff, Iran is throwing gay people off of roofs. Russia's killing them. Well, not the Russian government, but the gays are not accepted. Like, look at what happened to Pussy Riot.
You said Pussy Riot?
You never heard about them?
No.
Oh, that's a crazy story. They're a lesbian rock band from Russia.
Okay. Called
Pussy Riot. They got locked up. That's what the fuck happens over there. And meanwhile, Bethesda's like, we're with you. But then Middle East are like, yeah, fuck them gays. High five, Russia.
Yeah, it's like I know I mentioned it multiple times on here, but with Star Wars, everybody talks about how
Star Wars
racist America is, and then in China they literally remove the black guy off it, and they won't release Star Wars there unless he's off it.
Oh, while we're talking about them, do you see John Cena apologizing in Chinese?
Uh-huh.
Fuck him. How do you have a movie called The Marine where you're the Marine, America? And then you're like, Ni hao, Bing Chao, Bi, and you're like, shut the fuck up. Because he was also in China. He lived in China for a little bit, trying to get his movies big over there too, where he would do these terrible, like, what it's like in grocery stores. And he's basically shitting on America. He's like, look at all these fresh fruits and vegetables. And it's like, oh, America doesn't have those, do we? And his apology for recognizing was Taiwan.
Yeah.
Taiwan, the country that is our ally, that we literally supported in World War II and in their Civil War. Taiwan is a great country, and China dismantled any sort of history and just shit on all of Chinese culture, and Taiwan preserved it, and so now they want that shit back, man. They're flying bombers over Taiwan. Look up the history of Taiwan and that whole process, and think for 2 seconds it's okay for John Cena to pretend that that's China. It has nothing to do with the CCP. And fuck you, John Cena. I was kind of indifferent about him. I was like, I stopped watching wrestling when he became big. I don't really care either way about him. I think he's a hardworking guy. But go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day I can say it to his face. You piece of shit. You kowtowed to one of the worst, an empire of evil. And you're over there with your fucking half-assed Chinese.
I think it goes back to what we're saying about all this, is that you put out these messages or you act like you care about things, but you prove that you don't by doing that, because you only do that to the easiest extent and avoid the things that are actually the issues there. So if you actually care about those issues, you're doing the things that really matter, not where it's not an issue, or obviously there is issues, but you know what I'm saying, they're very minimal compared to the things you could actually address.
Yeah, and people are saying that, like, oh, it's really affecting Fast and Furious' sales in China. Now, maybe it probably has to do with the fact you guys have made like 1 billion of them and people are bored. You're using magnets to pull cars through buildings.
It's fucking cool.
And you think that him just going, oh, it was so innocent what he did too. And once you like give China a little leeway, they'll take and take and take and take and take. This is not. This is nothing to stand by and just accept it or be okay with. Like, it's hard. Like right now, I've been watching the NBA playoffs. It's been fun. I enjoy it, but at the same time, like, man, this guy's really just gave in to China. Kowtowed to them too. But yeah, you were saying you were driving to Cincinnati and you were thinking about how you refer to the fuck's her name?
Excuse you?
Demi Lovato.
Oh yeah, Demi Lovato. But that's all I was getting at, was asking those questions. But yeah, you can tell by all these corporations. Again, that's why I mock them, not because I don't agree with their messages, because I have no issue with anybody doing anything if it doesn't affect somebody else. And I think what true equality is should be a obvious thing that shouldn't really be argued. But like most things, equality is, and like feminism and racial injustice and all this shit is not what it's actually supposed to be, because some of that is already figured out, and then you go beyond that.
Beyond.
And bingo. And then even the stuff that isn't, when you're there, you're not satisfied with it. So I agree with that stuff, and like I said, I don't know. Obviously, there is people that disagree with that, but I think majority of people would agree that all those things should be the case and everybody should be equal. But I think that it's pretty obvious that people don't want equality. They want more than that, which goes against equality. And the corporation, getting back to the corporations, pointing those things out, I feel like it's there's so many signs of that. I know I mentioned it multiple times on here, but all these corporations that when the pandemic first started were pushing about come to their business because they're not shutting down and they're going to keep operating. And then as soon as they had to close down, they all started putting up, we're all in this together. And what was it? Flatten the curve. That was one for a long time that I think people just forgot that was supposed to be like a 2-week thing. And all these cute little sayings that they all just share and share.
Oh, they love their sayings. Fauci, ouchie.
And then as soon as they can reopen, everywhere's just promoting to come back in, sell out places. Everything's on sale. So it's pretty clear they didn't care about those things. And I know people make the argument that you're ignorant for saying that because it's completely different now because the vaccine's widely available. But like here in Ohio, less than 40% of people have the full vaccine. And if you go places now, the mask mandate just lifted today, but even before it was lifted officially, the majority of people aren't wearing them now and not social distancing. A lot of businesses already have taken down their barriers and their stickers and everything. I don't know if you noticed that, like at AMC. Well, you probably haven't been there. All their barriers are gone before. I was like, what? All that kind of stuff will just stay in place for a while. Make you feel more comfortable, especially without mask and everything. So it even surprised me how fast that stuff went away, but that just shows how little you care. Because if less than 40% of this state is vaccinated, and it seems like, I would say from what I've seen, probably 80% of people are not following the mask and social distancing. And not only that, they're doing the complete opposite. People are like right up on each other. I went to the Reds game, and it wasn't sold out. They're not full capacity for a couple more days. Or they're supposed to be today, I think, but the game got delayed. But even at stadium, it was probably not even half full just because they were still like not capacity and not a lot of tickets were sold. Anytime you went to a line or escalator or something, it was just jam-packed people to people, and nobody was separated. Most people weren't wearing masks, and I don't care about that. I'm just trying to point out how ridiculous this is, and that it was obviously perception obviously has the biggest majority or biggest factor in all this, not the virus, not anything else, because if majority of people are not following these rules, and majority of people are not following these rules, and majority of people are not vaccinated, then obviously majority of people doing this are neither of those, and they're still okay with it. And like at Kings Island, you don't have to wear a mask, and we were there. And last time I was there, the park was like half empty. Everything was super weird. Everyone was spaced out. You had to wear a mask. The lines were just, nobody was within like probably 2 feet of each other. Everybody else was just jam-packed. We were shoulder to shoulder. Nobody's wearing a mask. Everybody was talking. People were sneezing. And I was like, I remember having arguments with people that the world would never be the same. No, as soon as it's all perception, I'm not saying all of it was fake, because I've said 1,000 times I think it's real. But as far as the panic and how people act, it's perception. Goes back to what we're talking about. That you can try and make yourself feel better and point out what you're doing by following all these things, and then you feel like a better person. And then as soon as people aren't doing that, then you're okay to do it, and because you don't need to fit in anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a big thing. I'm happy it went back so quick.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's why I was making clear that I'm not like complaining or how dare they do this.
Yeah, I thought you were. I was one of those guys that thought the mask thing would just be around for a long time, and the shields and the gloves and the. I mean, like when I was at AMC, there was a woman that like. I don't know if this is what she was doing, but she had a mask on, and saw me coming, and like abruptly stopped and took like a wide path around me. It could be she was fucking walking to the theater, but in the back of my mind, I was like, was that like a performance there? Like, oh my God, he's not wearing his mask, and took a big wide turn around me. Because I mean, that's what most of this is. I mean, even like with the gay pride, and the corona shit, and Black Lives Matter, it's a performance by people to show how great they are. Meanwhile, they're not doing anything, or being redundant, or hypocritical, or just concerned about the bottom line.
No, for sure. And I know that's obviously anecdotal what I did, and that's just our state. But I've also have traveled to multiple states since all this has started, and you can see as things, other states that you go to when they're open, and how completely different it is immediately.
Oh yeah, I'm sure West Virginia, that shit was never. Yeah. I love seeing. I've been watching this this show that Joe Rogan likes a lot. It's this chemist that goes around and studies drugs, and he partakes in them and like is way into the science behind them. And do you remember like 10 years ago, or no, it'd be even longer? God, like 15 years ago. The early days of YouTube, when people would do, oh shit, what's that drug called? Hannah Montana got into shit for doing it. Miley Cyrus in the early days.
Molly.
No. It was before that. It was back when she was still country and innocent. So was the Salvia? Salvia.
Oh, yeah.
You ever watch any of the Salvia videos on YouTube?
No.
There's a big series too where a guy was like, I'm going to try to drive while I'm on Salvia, and clearly can't even like start the car because it fucks with you that bad. But it's legal for a long time, and then all of these, as it is, these old ass politicians are like, do you see how he's acting on the Salvia? Fucking career That's another thing. Being a politician should not be a career. Founding fathers were pretty clear on that. But fuck them. But they're like, look at all these states, and they're like naming off. So every time you see one of these things, like, look at all these places where it's illegal. And West Virginia is always just, they don't give a fuck. I love West Virginia. When I was growing up, I was like, God, West Virginia is so backwards. Like living in Virginia, thinking like, oh, that's the real idiots. But now I'm like, man, they're on to something. It's like a little libertarian holdout. So yeah. I love West Virginia. Beautiful state, too. Just a little methed out in some areas. Which I think is even more exciting. I love white trash.
Anything else random you want to talk about before we get into the show?
Did you ever watch Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
No.
That Johnny Knoxville documentary?
No.
Buddy, you're missing out. That's right up your fucking alley.
Is it?
Yeah, oh my God. It's so great. I think one of the opening scenes is a fucking... methed out. Well, they didn't really do meth. I take that back. Sorry, prescription pills. It's the Whites, Jessica White's family, in the Haulers. I think one of the opening scenes, the guy's just fucking got his dick out, walking around the living room. It's like the hardest I ever laughed in a movie. First time I watched it was with my parents.
Oh my God.
And it's just right up Jackass's alley. Like we need to get a group together and watch it.
I'd be down.
It's so fucking funny, dude. I mean, it's sad as shit because you realize, like,
yeah,
this is really happening.
We still need to do our Jackass marathon anyway, so
we could throw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Johnny Knoxville. I think it was even was it Dick House? What was there?
Yeah, Dick House.
Dick House. But yeah, West Virginia is a great place. Someone gave me 40 acres in Charleston. I'm down. The outskirts of Charleston. I'd go. My 40 acres and a mule. Is that racist now to say?
I don't think so.
Because that's what was given to slaves, right? 40 acres and a mule. Was that what they got?
Oh, I don't know then.
What is the history behind that now?
I'm
Better
not sure.
be careful just blatantly saying that. You want to talk about the Black Lives Matter imploding too? Their leadership.
Oh,
they got their millions now. They're checking out.
Yeah.
How many homes do they own? Like 16 homes, and now they're all just like, yeah, we're gonna let the fight go on to somebody else, and they just disappear with millions of dollars. Because all these corporations donated to them. This is the big trendy thing to do. Where do you think that fucking money went when the head Miss Marxism, fuck capitalism with her 17 homes? What was I looking up? Oh, origins of 40 acres and a mule.
According to NPR, the Freedmen's Bureau, depicted in this 1868 drawing, was created to give legal title for Field Order 15, better known as 40 acres and a mule. As the Civil War was winding down 150 years ago, Union leaders gathered a group of black ministers in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, so it definitely is racist to say that, isn't it?
Yeah, as soon as it started and kept going, I was like, oh, it sounds more and more like it's heading there.
Yeah, the Freedmen. I think the dead giveaway was the Freedmen's Bureau.
That's why I said I didn't know. Once you said more, I just thought you meant mule. I was like, I didn't think that was a racist term, but yeah, the whole thing. I was like, oh, maybe I don't know.
I mean, that's a saying I heard a lot of people say, like, "I'll get my 40 acres and a mule." You've heard people say that before too, right?
Feel like I have, but I actually don't know.
Maybe I just made it up.
I'll see.
What is that called? My unconscious bias just popped out.
Anything else you want to talk about, buddy?
No, that's it.
All right, we can get to things we forgot about from the weeks before. Do you have anything?
No, not that I know of.
Nothing you want to say before Ryan comments?
Who knows?
All right, we'll just leave it at that. Ryan, if you want to comment. I forgot. Well, I actually started to.
Oh, I love you.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
He probably wouldn't comment anyways. He's all talk. I mean, where's our email, Ryan? Come on. James is probably going to stop watching or listening if you don't send him his email soon. But I was talking last week when I was talking about going to the Avalanche game in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I knew I was going somewhere with it when I was talking about their fans and how it was kind of hard to root against them because they were being nice and I don't have that like true connection to the Avalanche like I do the Red or the Blue Jackets. The Reds came up here in a second. That's why I said that. And one of the stories I have about them was not even being in St. Louis, and it was watching the Reds play them. And the Cardinals are a rival of the Reds. They're a St. Louis baseball team, obviously. And I remember watching it. It was Father's Day. I remember watching with my dad in 2004, and Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 500th home run against the Cardinals in St. Louis, and the entire crowd gave him a standing applause, or a standing ovation, not applause, and did it for like 5 minutes. And I was like, that's so crazy. I know that that's supposed to be a thing just like out of respect of because it's so rare the player does that. But I feel like if that happened in Chicago, I don't think that would have been the same reaction, and that's another Reds rival. So it's weird because even with a rival, that being a rival team, it's hard to really hate them. So, man, they just seem like such genuine people. That doesn't mean there's not like a portion of them massive assholes or you could run into the wrong person or whatever. But generally, it just seems like they're nice, normal people. I'm like, man, that's so hard to root against. I'm never going to root for them, but even if I was there watching the Reds game, unless somebody's being a massive asshole, I feel like it'd just be kind of weird being in an environment like that where it doesn't seem like people are like against you, which is kind of the point of sports is like the rivalries and everything. I don't know, it's just weird.
It was also weird to think how long that motherfucker's career was. In 2004, he was still playing. Jesus.
Yeah, I think he ended up getting around 600 home runs, so he played for a while after that. Or maybe did get 600. I'll have to look that up. And the other thing I was going to talk about was another weird thing about going to that game was their arena was super nice. And it's not as nice as Nationwide Arena, but I thought it was like somewhat comparable. And what's crazy about that is the Nationwide was built in 2000, and their arena was built in 1967. And I would not have known that. It definitely, once I figured that out, there were some things that you could tell are kind of outdated, and the setup of it you could tell was not, like if you had the highest seats, would not be as good as Nationwide Arena. But that just goes to show if you keep up with something, you don't need to build a new stadium every 15 years if you take care of something. And there were some things that were even better than the Blue Jackets game, like every urinal at this arena had a
colored and whites sign.
had a TV that was actually like decent TV at every urinal.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jackets have just audio playing in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I think part of that, to be fair, even though I'm complimenting him, I think part of that is that you are behind the curve. You don't have a new arena, so you kind of have to compensate for it. Kind of like when people talk about Microsoft and Sony. Microsoft's behind Sony, so they kind of have to go all out, while Sony can kind of lay back. So I think part of that is reacting, knowing you have an old arena, so you have to compensate for that. But still, like I said, it shows that if you take care of something, that you don't need to rebuild something every 15 years.
You know who obviously had a really old-ass arena was Albany.
Albany. That thing.
Yeah,
I don't know when it was built,
like
but
time machine.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I think they've renovated since we've been there. I'm sure St. Louis has, because if they haven't done anything since '67, then obviously it probably wouldn't have that feel to it. But like I said, that shows that if you do take care of it, and obviously renovating is part of taking care of it, you don't just leave it the way it was.
Or the ticket booths at Albany, too. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. It was nonsense.
Hard to believe there's still lines at ticket booths, too. Like, that's still a fucking thing. Probably don't. You'd be like, oh, I have a QR code?
Yeah. That was all, though, so we can get to questions, question, feedback. Unfortunately, no emails this week, Ryan. Do you have anything, sir?
No.
I know you and a few people that watch and listen to the podcast were saying the audio has been a bit messed up, so we try to compensate for that this episode. So hopefully it'll be better. Let us know in the comments. And if you have any questions, or feedback, you can send to currentbackloggers@gmail.com. Anyone get into the news, buddy?
Yeah, we get to the news. Yeah. I was not ready, though. Let's go to tax. The news. This first bit of news is from IGN. More like God of When? Good one.
Thank you, sir.
Sony has announced that the sequel to God of War has been delayed to 2022. It's weird that we're this far in the future. That 2022 is like one of those things. A little kid is like when a movie or a video game is pretending to be in the future.
Yeah, anything past 2019 seemed that way to me. Like the 2020s.
2022. That just sounds like a made-up year.
Yeah.
And will be released on both PS5 and PS4. Somebody's calling me. Should I answer this live?
Oh, God, that's up to you.
Let's see what happens. Hello?
Joey,
Hello?
are you in podcast mode right now?
Yeah, you're on the show right now.
Hello, show. How are you? I have a Warzone-related question. I know it's stupid, but
I'm sure Casey would be happy to answer.
I need your phone number.
You need my phone number?
Like, I need to use it. They're going to send you a text. I need you to send me that verification code.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that's okay with you.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Or not stream. Current backloggers.
Okay.
Warzone's skill-based matchmaking is so hard that I have to make new accounts, and they require phone numbers now. So that's why I'm doing this.
That's when you know you went too far.
All right, buddy. So, Casey said that's when you know you've gone too far.
I've told Casey I do this. I don't want to hear it from him. I know I have an issue. It's just too damn hard. Skill-based matchmaking is too crazy.
All right, so I'll just text you the code then?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time. Channel, Casey, and Cody.
Yeah, you're
Aw.
welcome, sir. Love you.
Bye. Casey said love you.
I love him too, and I love you.
Oh, I love you too, buddy.
Okay, ta-ta!
Bye.
Titties.
The news, that's what we were doing for. So, I'll just start this. Oh, fucking software update. Sony has announced that the sequel to God of War has been delayed till 2022 and will be released on both PS5 and PS4. Head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Holst, that sounds like a German villain, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where? Herman Holst. He
Sounds
is
a little bit
German?
like that, yeah.
Oh, see, I
He
knew
has a
it.
thick accent, not that bad, but
Announced the news on PlayStation blog in a Q&A. While he shared that Horizon Forbidden West is still on track to release this holiday season, God of War started a little later. So the decision was made to push the game to 2022 to ensure it is the amazing God of War game that we all want to play. They are frankly affected by access to performance, capture, and talent, Holst said. For Horizon, we think we are on track to release this holiday season, but this isn't quite certain yet, and we're working as hard as we can to confirm that. Quote, and for God of War, the project started a little later, so we've made the decision to push that game out to next year. Something's got to give. It can't be the quality of our titles, and surely won't be the health of our well-being of our amazing team. Santa Monica Studios shared a similar message on Twitter, thanking, we remain focused on delivering a top-quality game while maintaining the safety and well-being of our team. Creative partners and families, with this in mind, we've made this decision to shift our release window to 2022. Sounds like something HR wrote for them.
that was all of it, right?
That's all of it, yep.
I'm not surprised. I think I've said on here that I've been surprised it actually came out this year. And I definitely said that this was the first game that people thought might be PS5 only. I definitely thought it was going to be both of them. It would have been... I wish it would be PS5 exclusive, and I wouldn't blame them. Just seeing how they've been handling it is why I thought they'd do PS4. I can see why people thought it might be the first one because it's so far off, even if it didn't get delayed. But them doing Horizon as both of them. I think God of War is going to be both. I don't know when they're going to stop that eventually. And he said in there that they seem to, Horizon Forbidden West seems to be on track to come out this year. So that tells me that there's probably a good chance that get delayed, because he didn't say they're confident it'll be this year, that it's for sure. So I wouldn't be surprised that gets delayed too. And then, I don't know, they have Ratchet and Clank, but I don't know what else Sony really has this year. Deathloop, I guess.
Well, I definitely think they all should be PS5s games. I thought this was like Sony's thing. And it makes the next console exciting, gives you a reason to buy them. But maybe it's because you can't fucking buy one. I'm not sure.
You said you're behind on Sacred Symbols, right?
Yeah. I haven't listened since January 1st.
Because the argument they've made, and I was kind of thinking it too, because I do think that's an argument to make, but I think the counter argument is something I brought up on here before about how long it took to get the Wii, and nobody thought that games shouldn't come out for the Wii exclusively. Nobody made those arguments when things weren't coming to GameCube and the Wii. So I just think that's a weird argument to make, that because you can't get one, games shouldn't come out for it. And especially when we've seen that PS5 is the fastest selling console ever. So you're kind of just fucking, even if everyone that wants it can't get it, then you're kind of fucking over the people that have been the most loyal to be able to get it. You're like, well, everybody gets to play the games, and there's no benefit really for you having this thing. So I feel like that could go both ways.
Oh, no, definitely. I don't know, man. With this chip shortage that Biden was supposed to be figuring out, thank you, China. It's fucked with cars. It's fucked with everything. I think it's going to be quite a while before we see these things regularly available. It sucks. But I think this goes beyond the Wii thing, though. I think Nintendo inflates that shit artificially. Artificial shortages.
Oh, no, they definitely do. They've even admitted that. I'm saying as far as the principle, though, like, I don't think anybody argued that games shouldn't come out on just the Wii exclusives. I don't feel like that was never an argument, or any system ever.
There's definitely a lot more PS4s than GameCubes, and they could be looking at a money side, too.
Oh, yeah, I get the business end of it. I just think, like you said, goes against their history of what they've done, and also, like you said, I feel like kind of screwing over the fastest selling console in console history at the same time, too. Even though there's more PS4s, PS5's on track to somehow beat that.
IGN. Crisis averted. That's another Casey title. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome, sir.
Crytek has announced that remasters of Crisis 1, 2, and 3 will be bundled together as the Crisis Remastered trilogy, and as standalone purchases in the fall 2021. Crytek shared the details of this new and enhanced collection that is being optimized in partnership with Saber Interactive, revealing that it will be available on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. All three Crisis games will... sorry, message popped up. Will play even smoother on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S if you can find them. Crisis Remastered was released in 2020 after delay due to mixed fan reactions to leaked footage of the game. Many reacted positively to the improved visuals, and it's safe to assume these new remasters will benefit from the troubles of the first. In addition to a number of visual improvements, get ready, this is quite the list. The first Crisis will also include high-quality textures up to 8K HDR support, temporal anti-alien analyzing? Anti-analyzing? Is that how you say that?
Anti-aliasing.
Aliasing.
Yeah.
Anti-aliasing. Screen space directional occlusion. SSDO in parentheses. Global illumination parentheses SVOGI. State-of-the-art depths of field, new lighting settings, motion blur, parallax occlusion mapping, screen space reflection and shadow, SSR and SSS, as well as the new and updated particle effects, and more. Furthermore, Crisis Remastered featured ray tracing on PSC NVIDIA RTX GPUs. But that's not all. Xbox One X and PS4 Pro for a small price of $29.99. I don't know if that's the price. I just made that up. It sounded like an infomercial.
I was gonna say it already seemed like that, and then you get that at the end. You're talking about, and that's not all.
Yeah. It's a generic trilogy. I never thought the stories were that captivating in these games. I feel like the first one, when I was in high school, was just how all these nerds were like, does it run Crysis? What does it run Crysis at? And I feel like that was the only thing the game was known for, was for people to be like, does it run Crysis? Crysis is beautiful. I had a friend that bought this crazy expensive PC in high school, and he brought me over and started up Crysis, and was like, isn't that cool? Yeah, that's cool, man. What do you think about Crysis? I don't know. I haven't been past the first mission, but doesn't this look good?
That's PC gaming in a nutshell.
I was like, yeah, it looks good, man, but at the same time, I don't know. I played all the Crysis games, but on Xbox 360.
That's why I did. Well, I played 2 and 3. 1 wasn't available on Xbox for a long time, and then maybe the remaster was the first time it came out.
Yeah, I don't. The second and third one's the only one I really remember too, actually.
Yeah, I feel like I tried the demo maybe, because I don't think I bought the first one, because I was like, oh man, I like the other two. And then I think I remember being like, this is not very good, and maybe that's, like I said, the reaction to it wasn't that hot. So I'm actually excited about the trilogy. I've thought about Crysis 2 and 3 somewhat often, not all the time. The story is kind of whatever. I just think the world's really cool, like the aesthetic of it. And I think the gameplay was really solid. And
What? No, I had to play the first one on 360 because I remember the story. Don't you just show up in North Korea and you're fighting North Koreans, and now I know where it's actually aliens?
I thought I don't know. I thought it was in the jungle. Is that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any fucking jungles in North Korea.
Yeah, I don't know. The second one, I don't know if you played multiplayer. I thought the multiplayer was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if that's going to be a part of it, and even if it is part of the package, I think it's going to be hard to keep an audience, which is going to be unfortunate, so I wouldn't be surprised they don't put it in there. But I'd be curious to try the first one, especially Saber Interactive's handling it, which is the main team behind the Master Chief Collection, which we came to this realization I showed you lately that I guess that's hated on, and they do a terrible job, but I disagree with that fully. So I'm excited to see what they can do, especially the first one, since I'm not sure if I ever really experienced that. And then the second one is my favorite, and the third one I thought was good, not as good as the second. So I'm excited for the trilogy.
Yeah, it'd be fun to go through and play them, but I just found the stories being real generic and only being known because it looked beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely know that with the first one. That was something that stuck out with me. I never played it for that.
Does it run Crysis? How well does it run Crysis? I'll never forget, I was in high school. I think it was my senior year. It was my junior year. I can't remember. We'd go to Virginia Tech, had these labs, and these same guys had gotten kicked out of a library, or got us kicked out of there because they wouldn't shut the fuck up about NVIDIA versus... Not NVIDIA. What's the other? Yeah, is it the processors?
AMD versus
Intel.
Yeah.
Not the graphics cards, but they got a full-blown art, a legit, they're going to start throwing punches about those two versus each other.
I think we have two friends that are like that. I think that's their true hatred for each other, really. That's where it started.
And especially because they're playing League. But also it was a throwback, too. I didn't think about this until I saw a YouTuber upload a video on it. Was Battlefield Heroes. You remember you ever hearing about that game?
Yeah, that was PC exclusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first actual PC games I played, and I
oh really?
Yeah, I had fun with it.
Where'd you play it? At home or something?
Yeah, I think that would have been, when did that come out?
2009.
I think I got a PC that could just run it, or a laptop that could just run it.
Because it's browser based.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it's definitely. I got it on my laptop and I was like, it can actually run it. So that's why it was one of the first PC games I played. I mean, I played stuff when I was younger, like Breakout and that kind of stuff, but the first real PC game.
Yeah, it's way ahead of its time. That shit looked like Fortnite.
Yeah.
And very similar. 2009. I was right. Look at me. But they also had another Battlefield game that came out at the same time. It's a Chinese game. They took in Battlefield and tried to adapt to the Chinese market, and you could play, I think is what it was. I think they tried to do something similar to Halo in Russia.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the good old days, man. And sometimes I think back. It's hard to think that shit was fucking over 10 years ago, though. I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
That's when we all made the jump to Facebook, too. That's when we all first got our Facebooks, and it was weird being like...
Can't rate your friends anymore?
Yeah, because I was still on MySpace. Like, guys, I'm not getting rid of my MySpace. Like, you don't. Just have both of them. I never looked back. Never fucking got back on my MySpace. The next article is from Cinema Blend. No title. Casey.
Oh, I think I meant to add one there. Awkward.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are heading back to the big screen. Though it won't be the versions we saw in 2014, 2016. Instead, it was announced last year an animated reboot centered on heroes in a half show is on the way with Seth Rogen, boo, and Evan Goldberg attached to produce. Cut to today, Rogen has dropped an intriguing tease for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot with a cool image, among other things, shares the movie's release date. Taking to social media, Seth Rogen, boo, shared this page of notes that Leonardo, the blue-masked member of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I thought they were talking about the painter. It's a good thing they specified. Put together, there's... what the fuck? There's a lot to pour over here. But first, take a look at the date in the top right-hand corner. August 11th, 2023. Also sounds like a made-up date.
It might be, too. I'd be surprised it actually came out on that day.
That also happens to be the same day that we'll get to see the TMNT reboot in theaters. I like Seth Rogen. I think he'll be able to handle this well and do something creative with it.
I agree, and Evan Goldberg, I know it's the main dude that always works with him, so that excites me, and I'm always going to have ready for this, a soft spot for the hard shell, you know what I'm saying? Growing up liking Ninja Turtles, and even the reboot ones that I know people made fun of, I enjoyed those for what they were. The ones with Megan Fox and the cringy moments, I still enjoyed them.
I feel like it was right before I was going into high school. There was an animated one from Nickelodeon that I also liked.
Yeah, I like that one as well. So there's actually been quite a bit of Ninja Turtles I like. I feel like Ninja Turtles are like Star Wars or a lot of these properties where people are like, oh, I dropped off here. It starts sucking there. I think there's definitely some Ninja Turtle stuff that is unwatchable for me. But I don't think there's like a certain date where I'm like, yeah, Ninja Turtle sucks now. I've always consistently liked it throughout different periods of time.
There's a really good documentary on TMNT, the creators.
Really?
Yeah, it was two guys. One guy got really fucked over. He, I think he got into a dispute, and he ended up losing a bunch of money because eventually it got sold to Nickelodeon.
And they put them as half their racing crew in their first racer.
That's right. I don't want to say he's broke now, but he's definitely not doing as well as the other guy. And the other guy has more of the business mind, like hats, T-shirts, action figures. Because initially it was, I'm sure like everybody knows, everyone likes to throw this fact around. And actually, TMNT started out as an adult comic. It was violent. So I feel like that was his vision of it. So it'd be kind of cool if someone did that vision of it.
Shell, yeah.
Shell, yeah, like a Deadpool TMNT.
Oh, Jesus.
Be great.
Fucking awesome.
But, all right. This one's from Games Radar. More like A Loud Place. A Quiet Place 2 has landed in theaters, and it didn't do so quietly. Ooh.
Yeah, I was going to do one like that, but I saw it in the article. Fuck. What are the odds?
The horror sequel made $57 million in the U.S. during its opening weekend, a new record for the pandemic, reaching a further $22 million at the international box office. This figure is especially impressive when you consider that A Quiet Place, which came out 2 years pre-pandemic in 2018, made $50 million during the same period. Of course, the profit margins are a whole different ballgame when it comes to the sequel. The first movie only cost $17 million. That's crazy. The price of A Quiet Place 2 adds up to $61 million. but it's still miles ahead of other recent releases. The movie is set to move to Paramount's streaming platform, Paramount Plus, 45 days after its theatrical release, which I think helped it a lot. Monster Mash blockbuster Godzilla vs. Kong previously held the record, just making over $48 million, and I guarantee that movie cost probably $300 million to make. Its opening weekend, though, it was also released on HBO Max. Disney's villain origin story Cruella, which premiered simultaneously in theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access, comes in third place, making $26.5 million at the box office this past weekend. I just watched it today. I thought it was a fantastic movie. It's kind of cool too because I feel like he takes a lot of things from other movies, other horror movies from different decades, and have combined them all into this very original, great movie. They don't force you; they show you. Like, it's not like, hey, we're about to run out of this oxygen, and they say it 1,000 times to you. Instead, they just fucking show you, which I think is important. I'm really happy for it.
Yeah. I think, well, I guess we'll get more in the movie when we talk about what we've been seeing. But as far as that, yeah, I'm thrilled to see that because I know there's this weird crowd that seems to hate movie theaters and like want it to die, and I don't really understand that. And I wanted to survive, and I'm excited that something like this showed that can be a thing, especially when life will never be the same, and we're just getting out, or just starting to get out of it, and life seems to go back to normal pretty fast. So I'm okay with that.
I feel bad the workers still have to wear all their masks, though.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's why I thought it'd be a good compromise just to leave all the shit up, like the shields and everything, and then yeah, they can take it down, and then everybody still has that protection or whatever if they want it. But I don't know. Kong's budget was $155 million.
Oh, that's not bad then.
Yeah, I would guess higher than that too. I just looked it up so we knew.
What did it make worldwide?
It made $436 million.
That's good.
Yeah. I think that was all the news, right?
Yeah, you had one in there about a fan had re-edited and uploaded a version of the Mario Bros. Movie.
Yep.
Wanted to check that out. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was right up your alley. I'd be curious to see it. I've seen a movie before. I don't know if I was going to say I watched it all the time as a kid. I watched it multiple times, and I was always horrified. I thought it was so weird even as a kid. So, is it interesting? I don't know if I should watch it or not, though. If you do, let me know what you think.
Okay.
The only other thing I had, I took a screenshot. Nintendo announced when their E3 press conference will be, or their Nintendo Direct, and that is going to be June 15th at, I had it on here. Yeah, there it is. 12 o'clock our time, so noon. They said it'll be roughly 40 minutes, and it's focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, mostly releasing in 2021, which means no Switch Pro with this thing, or hopefully they call it the Super Pro. I mean the Super Switch, not Super Pro. But I think they're going to call it the Switch Pro, and I think the Super Switch is a way fucking cooler name and goes back to their heritage, which I think would be really cool. There is another Bloomberg report today that said that, I don't know if you saw it, that production has actually started on the Pros, and that they think pre-orders will start June 4th. I don't know if that's true or not. If it is, can't imagine Nintendo wouldn't talk about it at their Direct, but maybe they do their own thing. They announce it, and then they use their Direct to be able to talk about the software you can get with it.
Or they could be like, it's available to pre-order now.
Yeah. We'll see. I could see an announcement like that. I think the fact that they say it's focused on exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, I feel like they're trying to get people to realize it's not going to be no new hardware. But we'll see. That seems like a prime time for an exciting announcement.
So that's Monday?
June
be the
15th.
Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday. So, oh wait, no, that's Tuesday.
That's Tuesday?
Yeah. The 12th is Saturday, so Sunday's 13th, Monday 14th, Tuesday's 15th. The last day of E3.
It's a good place to be.
Yep. Any media pickups this week? I don't have any.
No.
No? Look at us. What have you been playing?
Oh, just Call of Duty, man. Oh, actually, yeah, there has been some pickups.
Okay.
But in true Cody fashion, it's not physical.
Yeah.
It is, hold on, I got a crazy updates on, okay. I don't know, the app was fucking up. I picked up, trying to play some games come out for this year, so for the end of the year Game Awards thing.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up, which is not from this year. Oh, fuck, god damn it. What? A Sacred Symbols.
Oh, Twin Breaker?
Twin Breakers was on sale. Pick that up, and then, damn it, what is that American manga that became a movie with Michael Cera?
Oh, Scott Pilgrim.
Versus the World or whatever.
Does that have online? Because I'd totally be down to play that. I haven't bought it.
Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
Because I love that game on the 360.
So pick that up. That came out this year, but it's technically a remake. But the reason I mentioned Sacred Symbols is I want to play that before Hebroxia.
Yeah, I think it's... I haven't played enough of Hebroxia, but I think Sacred Symbols is definitely better for... At least I like it more. I shouldn't say it's better. I think you'll definitely like it more. And it still could be for the award show because you didn't play it last year or didn't finish it last year, obviously, since you didn't play it. So we're going to have the one best game from a year before you didn't play. So that could still be for the award show.
Yep.
What have you been playing? Anything besides Call of Duty?
No.
No.
So I've downloaded those two, and hopefully that'll be mentioned on the next episode.
Okay. I played a little bit of Warzone myself.
What?
Last night, yep. And then
Who'd you play with?
Nick and Derek, just for a few rounds.
You should play it tonight, too.
We'll see.
That should be a yes.
Because
if he just got a new account, it means we're going to get some normie lobbies, not that fucking shit he plays on. He's serious. I'm serious. Their matchmaking is ass. We're playing professional COD players.
what we should play instead, it's
Yeah.
on Game Pass, so it's free for everyone, Knockout City. That's that dodgeball game they showed at one of the press conferences. And me and him, no, we played Call of Duty 2 nights ago because me and him played Knockout City last night.
Uh-huh.
And
How
it
big
is,
did that download?
it's small.
Okay.
It's under 15 gigabytes. And it is fucking fun. I think it's a game that if you play it too much, doesn't seem to be a lot of content there. So I think it's going to be the kind of game where people overplay it and then say the game sucks and then be done with it. But I think sprinkled in with other games, I think it could be fun for a long time. I can see them updating a lot, and it seems to be successful because they took the smart route of going to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and all these avenues. Because when I saw the game, I thought it looked cool, but I think it was another game that could have been dead on arrival if they didn't handle it right.
What's it called again?
Knockout City. It's a dodgeball game, which is already unique for games. It's not unheard of, but it's unique. And it has a lot of, not as far as gameplay, the feel and the art style reminds me a lot of, or the presentation, I guess, reminds me a lot of Overwatch / Splatoon, which is
Really?
two good things for me. And then it's just fucking pure fun. It's a game that I think definitely be amplified with people playing. Like, I think if I wasn't playing Derek last night, I'd be like, yeah, it's kind of fun. But I think it's a perfect game with friends, especially you can do 3-on-3 or 5-on-5. And I think if we had us three, it'd be so much fun. Or even more fun if you could do old school gaming and get like 6 people and have a team play against, or like System Link. I think it'd be fucking amazing. And the thing I like is there's some mechanics in there that change it up. It's not just regular dodgeball. Like if you press Y, you can do like a lob, or if you press B, you'll do like a wanted style like curve around a wall. There is more than just throwing the ball and hitting people out, but at the same time, it is pretty simplistic, which I like. So there's stuff that you can get better at, and it's not just boring, but it's not overall so much bullshit and a learning curve. It takes like 5 minutes and you pick it up and you can be good at it, which is refreshing. And it was also refreshing the way that, like I said, it kind of reminded me of those two things, presentation-wise.
Art style and design kind of remind me of Jet Set Radio, too.
Oh, I can see that. I think once you play it, if you play it, you'll see it's those two things. I think you'll see them as well. And it reminds me of Splatoon in a way, just like something different and fun. And not have to take it so serious and worry
Easy to
about
learn,
everything.
hard to master.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know. I haven't played it much. I'm sure there's a way to master it. But that's the thing I like. That kind of seems like you could get better at it, but there's not like a mastering point, and the game's over if you get there.
Like Splatoon.
Yeah, exactly. And it's on Game Pass. I think we should totally, even if we don't. I know you guys are playing Call of Duty tonight, but we should do that.
Oh, I'm down.
Me and Derek already have it. And then besides that, I'll play a little more Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Still on Mass Effect 1. Haven't played enough of it, but still enjoying it. And that's all I've been playing this week. What have you been watching?
Let me get the name of this. It's got a weird name. He was on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's talked about this show a lot. Kind of like the guy, too, because his show is big, and then Joe Rogan's like, you can do another season? He's like, I don't think so, man. I'm just going to... He's got like a normal-ass job in Philadelphia and disappeared. But it's Hamilton's Pharmacopedia. This is this really smart chemist guy that likes drugs and goes around and talks about drugs and their origins, mainly psychedelics. Just interesting. And then A Quiet Place.
Should we do a little... We usually don't do this, but since we've both seen it and it's relatively new, should we do a little spoilery thing here?
Sure.
Or should we put at the end of the episode so we don't have to be like, skip ahead 5 minutes?
Yeah, we put it at the end, I guess.
Okay, we'll do that. So after
There's
the
no
credits...
Game show.
Yeah. We'll get back to the game show. I want to get it... I told you, I think, off camera. I don't think we talked about it. I want it to be more even, not because I'm losing, but that would be the fun of it, like seeing what the standings is at the end of the year.
Fucking cop
And
out.
it's so unbalanced right now, so I gotta rework it to make it more fair.
Gotta give me a handicap.
But I've been watching a little more 30 Rock, your favorite show. Not completely caught up. I'm trying to get caught up on Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
Star Wars.
Me and Danielle watched a few more episodes. I think we're only an episode or two behind. A Quiet Place, which we'll talk about later. And then that same day, I also saw Cruella.
That looks terrible.
It was good, nothing great. I will say, I think we talked on here, my affection for Dalmatians, the dogs themselves, but especially the movies. And there's very minimal Dalmatians, so I wasn't too excited about that. I will say one thing. We talked a couple months ago who else could play Harley Quinn. I never thought it would be Emma Stone, but it could totally be Emma Stone if you see this.
That.
Really? Already? I thought you'd be like, I don't see that at all, because I couldn't until I saw this, and I feel like she would pull it off really well. I still don't think as well as Margaret Robbie, but...
Oh, and you got a thing for big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Emma Stone's got like the biggest eyes.
She has a... Now you're giving me the big eyes. Yeah, a little bit. Her voice, I think a lot of people like her voice. It kind of annoys me. It sounds like it's painful when she talks. That's why I don't like it.
I love
feel
her
like
voice.
It's like raspy to the point where I'm like, that sounds like you're hurting to talk.
I had a big crush on her in high school from Superbad.
Oh, yeah. Was that her first big thing?
Gotta be.
That's what I was thinking.
I'd give her first big thing.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. You would give her something, but not a big thing. That's all I've been watching, though. Have you been reading / listening to any books?
Yeah. I finished, what is the fuck book?
I could tell you, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, because I started it.
Did you?
Yeah, because you said I should, and Danielle was actually talking to me about it before, and I wasn't remembering there was that book.
It's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I finished it. It's interesting. I think it's got good views on things and why you shouldn't just not fucking care about shit. I feel like we worry about stuff too much. But then I started Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life.
Okay.
I love Jordan Peterson. I just want to add a little more shit on to people thinking I'm a racist. But fuck him. I love Jordan Peterson, and it's a long-ass fucking book. He talks, so he's just so intelligent. He's in a different world of intelligence. The way he writes and speaks, it's hard to follow him sometimes because I'm just an idiot. But besides that, I like it.
Okay. The book, Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, I'm only probably an hour or two into it. I'll say first off, I definitely...
So you're almost done with it.
Yeah, that's true. I am enjoying it, and it's funny. I'll give it that. I think it is a good message. I'm not being arrogant, I don't think, here. I think so far, being early in the book, it's a good message, but I think a lot of things so far are kind of how I am, and not like in the way like, holy shit, I'm learning something. I feel like you guys always make fun of me for being like a lot of ways he's preaching, for at least from what I've heard so far. And, you know, a lot of criticisms I have of myself, so I don't think I'm being arrogant saying that. I just feel like a lot of things that, at least from what I've heard so far from where I'm at.
Well, your issue you said with yourself is that you don't speak up enough.
Mm-hmm.
He mentions that in there. Like,
by the point I'm at, or just at some point?
I don't know. I don't know if it's your point or what, but it's like, speak up for yourself and not give a fuck what the repercussions of it. But yeah, I could see that, and I always told you I always liked your personality when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and yeah, I'm early, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm perfect. I'm sure by the time I finish it, there'll be something, and even if not, I'm enjoying it at least so far. And I don't think I'm perfect, so yeah, there's definitely criticisms I have. It's just from where I'm at, the things he's saying, I feel like that's generally how I am, which is kind of odd.
Yeah. Like, I feel like people we know that really would learn a lot reading this book would never read this book. I can think of a few people off the top of my head. I get the title of the book was definitely like a grab your attention thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Ryan was like, yeah, I just thought he was cussing too much in the book. Because Ryan had also read it. Do you feel like there was a lot of cussing? Like unnecessary cussing? Like cool cussing? I just said fuck.
It didn't bother me, but it does happen a lot, so I can see how somebody else would think that, but it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I can see where Ryan's coming from for sure. Especially the title. And there was moments where it was like, oh, I don't know. I just never picked up on it. I think cussing isn't one of those things that stands out to me.
Yeah. I'm with you. We can get into free games if you want.
Let's do it.
So on Xbox 360, you have Neo Geo Battle Coliseum till June 15th. Xbox One, you have Dungeons 3 till June 15th. And The King's Bird till June 30th. These all... What's Xbox doing here? I haven't heard of any of those games.
Neo Geo?
I've heard of that brand, I think, or the whatever you want to call it, the IP, but I haven't heard of Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. Sounds like some spin-offs. I've never heard of those games in particular.
Neo Geo, they made they had their own consoles, arcade systems, and now they're kind of like Sega.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I've heard of the property or whatever you want to call it. I just never heard of that game in particular. And the other two, I've never even heard of. Dungeons 3, I never heard of the first two.
I think I've heard Dungeons 3. I think I remember the cover on 360. Let me look it up before I... fucking crackheads messaging me on here. I just had Nick, you getting on tonight? So yeah, you better get on, buddy. All these crackheads were ready to go, buddy. Dungeons 3. This is not what I was thinking. No, never heard of this fucking game.
Okay, we can get to PlayStation then. On PS4, you got Star Wars Squadrons till July 5th. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown till August 2nd. And PS5, you have Operation Tango till July 5th. You got any fake outrage?
No.
Me either, sadly. I guess that's it. I'll say a couple things going out of here. I love you.
Love you too.
And then besides that, somehow the Nintendo tour video I took is almost at 1,500 fucking views.
Nice, buddy.
Every time I look at it, it's unreal. I don't really get it.
What you just don't need to talk in any of your videos.
Just to hear one.
Yeah.
Like that. So if any of you somehow stumble upon this, if you want to subscribe, we'd appreciate it, because somehow everybody's watching that video, but nothing else is changing. I think our views keep going down somehow, but that one just keeps going up.
Fuck, dude.
And then me and Derek announced on the last ever episode of the Brohawks last week. No more. That we are changing to pigskin over pizza. Yes, that's it. I'm trying to get that stuck in my head now. And we're going to record our first episode June 7th and hopefully have it out by June 8th. But yeah, we are going to get a pizza from a local pizza place and eat it on this very table and talk over the pizza and talk about sports. It's not just going to be
sports. You got a little Bostonian there.
It's not just
A
going to be
little
about
pie.
pigskin. It's going to be about all kinds of sports. That one's intentional. And then at
It's
the
'cause
end,
you
we're
went to
going to review the
fucking-
pizza we've been eating.
You went to Wahlburgers. One time, Casey. Now look at you.
No. So, hopefully that'll be exciting. It also, maybe the people, I know James and some other people don't watch or listen to Brohawks because they're not interested in sports at all, which I understand, but maybe I'll get some people in that don't want to listen to sports, be able to have the pizza review and the nonsense that would come with that. But that's all for this week. As always, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Current Backlog. And you can email any corrections, questions, or feedback to currentbackloggers@gmail.com. Okay, so spoiler time. Do you want to say anything first, or what? How should we do this thing? We don't have to cover like the entire movie.
I'll just say some general things, what I think about it.
Okay.
It's very original. I think Emily Blunt,
Yeah.
she didn't change her last name when she married him.
She was pretty blunt about it.
Hey, they're both so attractive. Their kids are going to be little. I told Renee, their kids are going to be models. Two gorgeous people making babies. What do they come out ugly? And God's like, yeah, get the fuck out of
It
here.
looks like the monster from Quiet Place.
They probably do have kids already.
I think so.
I think just very original. The suspense is amazing. I feel like Emily Blunt's amazing in suspense already, but every like a suspenseful. It's hard for me to get into suspenseful moments in movies, but I do in those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet Place really gets me. The character development's amazing. I really care about these people. Like the character development, I'd put up there with like a good TV show. There's some really good callbacks from the first one, the spaceship, the
Mhm.
nail. And there was a guy next to me too. Like every time I come up, he's like whispering. He was all excited. I was doing it to Renee too. It's fucking exciting. When it started up, you get your cold chills, your little goosebumps. And you're like, here we go. It felt like near the end when they were getting ready to go to the island, it felt like Last of Us.
Mm-hmm. I've always had a Last of Us vibe from Quiet Place and vice versa.
Yeah, and you could, especially when she was with her dad's old friend. I think there's a lot of, he's not copying horror movies, but there's a lot of call-outs to those horror movies. Like I'd say with his wife reminded me of the Dawn of the Dead, The Mall,
Mm-hmm.
when his wife's chained up to the hospital bed, she's pregnant, she's a zombie, and the baby's eating her. Or Norman Bates, he's got her preserved. What are some more calls? It just reminds me of Aliens for obvious reasons with that little girl. The little girl they find that tricks them. She reminds me of the little girl.
Oh, sorry. She reminded me of Alma, and you're the only person that I thought would get that, especially
Oh,
the way she was sitting there like that. I was like, oh my god.
yeah.
Or the witch in Left 4 Dead.
Just enticing you, trapping
Yeah.
you. The creativity, I want to look up who these two guys, it says based off the world or something, characters by two guys. I don't know who the fuck
Oh,
that
I didn't
is.
know that.
I don't know if they have a book or something, like where this came from. But I could tell that just they've put so much effort in designing this world. Like the thought process of just the world building, which is one of my favorite things. It's so cool. The dogs, you remember at the beginning when the dogs are like real sensitive to the aliens?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was a call out to Terminator. Remember James Cameron, I guess, used his own dogs. You know those was his dogs in
Yeah.
Terminator? I didn't know that.
I do just 'cause I like him a lot. I'm not being like, oh yeah, of course, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, that's how they sniffed out Terminator. So I felt like that was a call out to Terminator. I could be all talking my ass, and these are not related at all. I would love to get real nerdy with John. which he seems so nice that he'd probably be all about it. He'd probably love that people do that with his. And that this world came from him is just weird. Like, I would have expected.
Which makes it even cooler because it's not like an obvious thing.
Yeah,
Or
and
like
The Office is what literally was his start.
Yeah.
He was working as a waiter at the same time. It's cool. Trying to think. There's a cool things in there that they never really brought back up, like the dogs that never came back up. Why they really focus. Like John Krasinski turns around and waves, and that's how his movie is. Like it's very. If you see it on screen, it has meaning. So it's like, is that going to come back? That the dogs are so sensitive to these aliens? That never came back. They did it like 3 times with the dogs. Then they showed his friend, John Krasinski's friend in the movie, was like, the humans have changed. And then you run into, I will call him Stranded, because it also felt like Gears of War Stranded. How they were changing. They had red eyes, and they weren't they weren't talking, and they were just kind of just.
Yeah, and you could tell they wanted the little girl for some things.
Yeah, I don't know what that was weird. Didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting, and they felt like zombies. And it makes me wonder if something's happening. If they're for part 3, it's like, oh, now the humans are kind of becoming. Something's happened with this asteroid. We see for the first time how the aliens got there. It was an asteroid. And I remember we talked. I knew at some point they had said this was going to part of it was going to be a flashback, but for some reason I thought the whole movie was going to be a flashback. But the beginning was the flashback.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. It's short. It's an hour and a half, but there's nothing wrong with that. Man, it makes me really appreciate him because I thought it was like, man, I'm not that invested in movies anymore. But with The Quiet Place, I'm so invested in those characters. 'Cause I thought maybe you need a TV show to develop these characters for me to care about them. But it makes me realize that's not true. Quiet Place proves that wrong. I think it's such great entertainment. Such a well done movie. It's hard for me to find something I don't like about that movie. They just did a fucking great job. And sometimes I think, like, how cool would it have been in the 70s or the 80s when these big horror movie or sci-fi movies come out, Star Wars or Terminator or Aliens, and being like, not realizing you're sitting down in the movie theater, you're like going to watch some huge hit or something that's going to carry over for decades. And I feel that way with Quiet Place. Like, this is our generation's whatever Alien or
Hope so.
I like it a lot. That's my.
Okay. I agree with almost everything you said positively, so I won't add much there. So I'll get into some things I actually didn't like. I did really enjoy the movie overall, and I didn't like as much as
Quick
the first
question, sorry,
one.
I wanted this especially for you. Did you feel like the island, did it remind you of Lost?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that reminded me of the camp.
No, I made that joke to Danielle. I was like, oh, now it's turning to Lost as when they got on the boat before I even saw the island. And I was like, this is literally the Dharma Initiative.
Yeah.
They're all here.
Yep. And it was everything there was vintage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was weird.
Yeah.
But
Maybe it was a call out to Lost too. So we need to get John on the phone. We gotta ask him all these.
yeah, I'll get into some things that I wasn't a big fan of. I really enjoyed the movie. I didn't like it as much as the first. Did you like it more than the first? It might seem like.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel. Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Really?
Which is really rare for a sequel for me to like it more. I'd have to. I don't know. They're both great to me. It's hard for me to choose one. If I had to rewatch one. Fuck, I don't know, man. Yeah, probably the second one.
That's weird because it's not rare for me. You hear me say all the time the sequels are better. I'm not that way that the original is always the best. And I do think it's a really good sequel. I just like the first one more. Some things I didn't like. I loved the opening of being able to see the day one. And I think we talked about it here, and I said I didn't think that it was going to be a flashback the whole time, or like back and forth. I thought it would just be he's at the beginning because he's dead, and I didn't think they would keep bringing him back like that. So I wasn't surprised by that, but I was a little bummed because the intro of the day one was so cool that I was hoping like every 10 minutes they would have like day two and show the world continually falling apart. So it was cool to get a glimpse of that, but I wish I could have seen more of that. And that's not because I need to like every bit of what happened or the story to make sense. It would have just been cool to see the world fall apart and see it gradually, well, not so gradually as we saw. Maybe that's why they only did day one because it fell apart so fast. But it would have been cool to see it progress as the days went on. I really like to call out, like you said. I didn't know if you noticed the ship I had to point out to Danielle. I thought that was so cool.
What's that?
The ship, the spaceship.
Oh yeah, spaceship. Yeah.
And the origin of.
I thought you meant the boats that they were on.
Oh no, I'm trying to go in order so I don't skip around and miss things, like from beginning to end, not the entire point, just the things I didn't like about it. I like that you saw that they came from space. I would be interested. I don't think you need a whole movie about it, but I wonder if he wants it like that it's just a mystery where they came from, or if there is like a whole planet of them, or if it's like a military thing that they sent there, or if they're ever, like I said, he might just want it to be a mystery that it came out of the sky and that it is what it is.
Yeah, so, I would say like the mystery for sure. Like in the first one, I almost forgot all about the scene. I had to look up the scene again. I was surprised how much I remembered from the first one, because I'm the type of guy I leave a theater and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I just watched. But I feel like the first one's so good. But do you remember the neighbors in the first one?
Yeah.
The guy that just committed suicide after his wife died.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't know how she died. So I feel like a lot of that movie is a big mystery.
Yeah, and I don't have an issue with that. That's what I was kind of getting at, that not everything has to be explained. You don't need everything just fucking spoon-fed to you.
Which I think is an issue with most movies now.
Yeah. If that's how he wants it, that there is no real origin, or you don't know the origin, that's okay. I'd be curious to see if that is how he wanted it. And that's very much like Cloverfield. That's how Cloverfield starts, is that the pod drops into the water. So, I don't know. Again, you're talking about different horror movies. And that's something I've always been curious about with Cloverfield. I want to know where they came from, and especially because that one does seem like much more like they don't know if the government's behind it or what it is. But I really didn't I predicted this from the moment we saw the second one, and we talked about it on here a couple of times, that they didn't show what happened at the end of the first movie going into the second movie. I know they showed them leaving the house, but the first one ends with those things just surrounding the house. And I know they showed how to defeat it, but as I saw, just because you know how to defeat it doesn't mean you're going to do it every time.
They weren't surrounding the house; they were running.
No, I remember I rewatched it, and you thought they were running.
That's what I thought as well. So I rewatched it as well, like before I watched this one. It shows them running. I don't know if it was if they were afraid, but they weren't surrounding the house. Though I don't think they just ran past the camera, didn't they? They could just see them on the monitors.
I could probably look up on YouTube. I'm almost sure they were surrounding the house. So
it was just two of them.
Just two?
Two aliens.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it here again next week.
Yeah, we'll have to watch after this.
Yeah.
Let's pull it up.
Because I know that you don't, like you said, you don't need everything spoon-fed to you. That kind of stuff. What I liked about the first one is that it's obviously out there because there's aliens involved.
We know they're not afraid of it, though, because remember when they run into his friend, they kill one, he watches them kill him, and then the other one stays there.
Yeah, so that's even more evidence. I don't think they'd be running from the house.
I'm supporting that. I'm supporting
okay.
your view.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But one of the things I liked most about the first one is obviously it's out there. It's something that came from space and it's creatures. But at the same time, it seemed so grounded and real that there wasn't a lot of things you could like pick apart or take you out of the movie. And for me, like I said, I love the movie, so this is nitpicky stuff. But I felt like there were a few moments like that, like where I feel like I'm missing something. But I'm going to jump to where they're on the boat and they get to the island. And they're like, yeah, everything's peaceful. And you know it's not going to be for long. But then he hears the creature on the boat. They can't swim, so that creature was just on the boat the entire ride over, and they never saw it. I know that's just like a typical movie thing. You know, that's just Hollywood movies. But in a movie that
wasn't their boat.
That wasn't?
No. That was the boat Remember the weirdos, the
Mm-hmm.
molesters guys? They were on a sheriff boat, and the monster hopped up there, killed 3 of them, fell in the water. You watched it drown, and then its friend hopped up on the boat, almost like it looked like it was maybe trying to rescue his friend. Was kind of hovering around.
Yeah.
That was that boat. It was a separate boat.
So 2 boats went to the island?
Yeah. She picks him up, and then that boat that the alien's on, that's the one that pops up. Because when he goes to the beach and he pulls out the picture of his son, you see their boat. And then he hears that boat. He doesn't hear it talking. He doesn't hear the alien talking. He hears the boat clanging, banging on the shore.
So what, that boat just got washed in is what
Yeah.
they're saying?
Yeah.
Guess that makes obviously more sense.
Because
than,
the weirdos, the molesters, were trying to hop on the boat and get the fuck out of there. And then the one falls in the water, drowns, and then his friend hops on that boat and watches his friend, watches in the water. We're like, where'd my friend go or whatever? I don't know what he was doing. And then stayed on the boat that they had just got on to ride it over.
That's definitely more grounded than not seeing the alien your entire boat ride over. But I still think that seems a little out of the ordinary, because it seemed like there was quite the trek for them in that boat, that a boat will wash all the way over and happen to hit that island.
Didn't they show the island though? It was pretty close.
I don't know, maybe.
Which is, I mean, that's one of my nitpicky things is like, they had mentioned the National Guard knew they couldn't swim and they were drowning. And they tried to get people to the island. So why didn't everybody else try to get to the island?
Yeah, I don't know, and that's one
You
thing.
would think, yeah, get on a boat.
Oh, I always think there was zombies and everything. I'm like, I feel like the first thing, even if you're wrong, why not go to an island? If they can swim, you're fucked anyways, and if they can't, then you're saved. But
Yeah.
like I said, and this is not uncommon for movies, so it's definitely nitpicky. It's just in a movie that seems so grounded, kind of pulls you out of it more. I should have wrote things down. There's a couple other things, but maybe we can come back to that when we look up what happened to the end of the first one. I definitely, like I said, got Last of Us vibes. I always have, and which makes me excited for the Last of Us show, but also makes me worried because it's going to be kind of embarrassing if a movie that is not set in the Last of Us universe feels more like The Last of Us than the Last of Us TV show.
They even sound like clickers.
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah.
And yeah, the face kind of looks like him
They look
before
like
it gets too
They
crazy.
kind of look like the Demogorgon, too.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I'm missing a couple things, but like I said, overall, I loved it anyway. So the nitpicky things are what they are nitpicky.
Yeah, it's a good movie. You should definitely go watch it.
I agree.
That's it?
Yeah, I was having a quiet ending. That'd be
Oh, Quiet Place. Got him.